Okay. Well, hello, Vivek. Here we are again. It's the end of another action-packed week for both of us. It's the 15th of November, and the observant amongst our viewers will notice I have a different backdrop today. So that's because I'm down in Essex, and I'll explain why I'm down in Essex at the moment. So, but you see how mobile we are, and how we can still do stuff, via the internet and having a Wi-Fi, and how good Google Hangouts is for all this kind of stuff. So just a quick reminder of what we go through. We start with Just a Minute, where we go through and tell our viewers what we do and what we're passionate about. We try and stick just about to a minute, but we might go over a bit if we get carried away, which is just because we love what we do. Then we look at the week gone by, and it's not a typing error. It is actually meant to be a pun, so the week gone by, which was Vivek's doing there. So that was a bit of sort of linguistic stuff going. Not bad for someone who's English is a fourth language, so which is good. Then we're going to do the trip. No, not. I'll get ahead of myself. Going to the road ahead about what's happening, really about the next week or so. Is generally what we do. So we've had the week just gone by, and then the week ahead, and then a trick or treat. Okay. So even though Halloween has already gone, so let's start with your 60 seconds. In other words, your Just a Minute, and no deviation or anything else. No interruptions. Please take the blue box, Vivek.
Namaste. My name is Vivek, and Vivek Technology Integrators is my company. This month I am doing November, and that's why you see a lot of facial hair on me, so pardon the appearance. But anyway, I believe in living a simple life. I believe in thinking differently. I'm proud to share my beliefs with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said that simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. Google is changing, and it is changing the world. Lots of things are changing. The search you do changes. The way you get the results changes. Technology often gets in the way. So when technology confuses you with social media and lots of other things, don't get confused. Don't get taken for a ride by the cowboys. Let the Indian handle the technology, and you live a simple life. If you want to simplify your life, contact me. The details are as usual in the YouTube description. You can contact me, and we can see how I can simplify your life. That's just a minute from me. So it's over to you, Corinna. Blue box.
Okay. I hope you won't bleep me in the middle. You got your timer going, haven't you? So I won't ask how we're doing for time. I'll find out later how many minutes that was. But anyway, so who am I? I'm Corinna Shepherd from Dancing Kites Creative Learning. I'm very proud of my brand, and I've been developing it over a number of years. And it started off as a brand to promote my books for dyslexic children, which I developed and designed and trialled at my dyslexia centre. It's actually come to be a lot more. So Dancing Kites started out really thinking about dyslexic children and helping them to fly, to dance in the sky, that sense of freedom and creativity and expression and so on. But what I've actually done is I've enhanced the brand and developed it further to so it's broadened it to adults, people who may be dyslexic or maybe not, who have a dream, or maybe they haven't had a dream for a while, to encourage them to have a dream, think about what their kite is, what's on it. Maybe it's blank, maybe they don't know what's on it, so help them to design that, and then help them to learn how to fly so it can dance in the sky. And it's really become very sort of synonymous with that. And I had a chat with someone today, and I'll say more later, who completely got what the brand was about, and she's just so related to the name, and she just so got it. So that's what I'm looking for, people who really want to excel being themselves in life, and whatever that might be. And yeah, there's a number of ways I help, but I'm sure my minute is up on that one, so more will be revealed. But My contact details, my website details are in the YouTube description, so please take a look at my website and to learn a bit more detail. So that's the minute, just a minute, or just the 5 minutes, however long it is. So let's go on to the week gone by, and what have you been up to, Vivek?
Yeah, I've been busy doing lots of things, participating in Hangouts, and I did participate in a Hangout by Ray Hills, so you may see that on YouTube.
Okay.
On Tuesday, Corinna, you came to my office, and we tried to solve quite a few problems. I'm not sure everything was sorted, but
took a few steps forward, didn't we, and a couple of steps back.
That's yeah, sadly that's the way it is. So
technology for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get there in the end, though, didn't we?
Yeah. That brings me to the actually on Wednesday I saw a Hangout which was talking about how to willfully reduce distractions.
Okay.
So there they also talked about the book by you have been talking about this book, Think and Grow Rich.
Yes,
so
Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they talked about that book, and they were saying distractions are often signals by your subconscious mind saying that you don't really want to do that, you want to do something else first. Or
yeah.
So it's often the case where the Hangout was talking about how to use the distractions in a constructive way. So
that's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Thursday we had another Hangout together, didn't we?
We did, didn't we?
Trying to sort out your YouTube issues, and yeah, we changed. You finally decided to take on Dancing Kite's creative name rather than something else.
Well, we were thwarted, weren't we, by Google and by YouTube and Google business apps, weren't we? And
yeah,
we couldn't do the impossible, and much as we wanted to.
Yeah, so that has been my week gone by. So it's over to you now.
Okay, back to the blue box for me.
Yeah,
all sorts of things going on, and I just sort of conscious of time and how much to say, and I've got a new major addition to my brand, which I will talk about in due course. But that's something going on in the background. And I won't say anything particular at the moment, but there's some really exciting things coming up, and I will share more in due course. Usual mix of doing networking. I've done a bit less this week. I've done a lot the last few weeks, and I've got a lot of follow-ups to do, and I do a lot of them on Skype or Google Hangout, which is really good because it saves time and petrol and travel, and you still feel like you're in the same room as the person. It's like us now. You sort of feel like we're in the same room. It's a really good tool to have. And I'm much more proactive about following up from networking meetings than I used to be, and getting a lot of interest and stuff. And not all of it will develop, obviously, but that's just the numbers of it. But I'm certainly having a lot more, and some really exciting things on the horizon. One particular thing that I went to a networking meeting last week. I did a follow-up call this week about helping Wickham Youth Action. And I'm going to do a radio interview. They've got they've got a radio station that they run, and they link that in with Marlow FM. And I have quite a few contacts in Marlow FM already, and I've done a radio interview and been asked to do another one. On my website, in fact, I've got an in the media post under the About Us, and I've got, I think it's 3 radio interviews at the moment. So going back, 2 or 3 years. And I have to say that I really enjoy doing them, because I can talk to the cows come home about dyslexia, and I've got over the initial you know, nervousness about it. And doing these video logs is great as well, because I can used to just rambling on and hopefully people will listen. So, you know, no, but seriously, I've got a really important message to give, and they were really interested in me going in and talking about how dyslexia affects an individual. They're obviously aimed at young people, and then looking to maybe get some funding and offer support, and maybe I can be involved in that through the other part of my business, which is a franchise. And she's got lots of contacts and might be able to help me get into schools, which would be good with my books as well. So sometimes people say to me, oh, you're doing lots of different things, and you know, you should just focus on one thing, but they actually all relate. There is a synergy to it all, and I think the people who say that probably don't really get what I'm about. And I do my best to, you know, to communicate it clearly, but obviously some people aren't really getting the message. So it fits with the brand about the dancing kites, and I talked about it earlier on. Another follow-up call from somebody I met at 4N Ascot a little while ago. She's looked into the legal side. You know, I talk about dyslexia in the law, and she's a journalist and sort of PR person. So she went to the depths of Google, as she said, and she found out some employment, some grievance procedures, and you know, employment law cases about, you know, where people have claimed or they haven't, because there's a whole lot of areas that people could claim and haven't. But still, you know, so there's a grey area where people say, well, you know, is it worth making a fuss about? Well, okay, people may not take you to court about it, but actually, if you are dyslexia friendly, you're actually going to be much more effective in your communication. It's just excellent business practice. So, but there is a risk that you could be breaking the law as well, particularly if you're employing people. So that's been really useful that I can include in my workshops that I'm looking to set up after Christmas, because I've actually got contacts with solicitors who clearly are much cleverer at the legal side than me, and I don't profess to be a legal expert, but I'm quite an expert on what the dyslexic mind, how it feels and what goes on there, so I think I add value to that. I've nearly finished. You're beeping going. I seem to be adding testimonials almost every day to my website, which is really nice, because I've set my focus again back to the Napoleon Hill stuff. You know, I've set my vision and my focus on what I want, and I've recently set that up, and I've been delighted by the number of testimonials I've got, and I haven't recorded all of them by any means. Again, if you look on my website under About Us, you can see them, and I've got different categories. And this particular lady, Eugenia, I just mentioned about the case studies, she said to me, oh, you know, your talk was the best 10 minutes I've ever heard, she said. And I thought, okay, so could you do me a testimonial, please? And she's written the most delightful testimonial, which I've now put on my website, and she's put it on LinkedIn, etc. You know, I don't like blowing my own trumpet. You know, I do believe in what I'm doing, and I really have a heart to help people. But it's so much nicer if other people are saying good things and effective things. So, you know, that's my aim. I've been doing a lot with building up my internet marketing, my internet presence, and you know, you've been really helpful in that, Vivek, I have to say. You know, you've encouraged me with my PowerPoints to do a voiceover. You know, I've got my new video, and so that people find me on the internet, they can actually meet me, get to know me, and if they like me, then you know, we can talk about doing business. And if they don't like me, well, then you know, they're not the right client for me. So, you know, I've learned that you don't have to appeal to everybody, so you know, which takes the pressure off. It's about being true to who you are and what your core passion is, and that's very much, I've sort of learnt that in sort of recent years and so on. So I was delighted that we finally got someone with my YouTube channel, and I'm so pleased because I've got over 30 videos there at the moment, and so I can now really reference people to that as well as individual videos. So I think that's a key part of my marketing. And today, just quickly, I also helped with my Google Analytics, so that was good. So this is all just really key stuff for moving forward, so I'm really grateful for your help with that. I came down to Essex. Last week I said I was meant to be doing a talk down at in Southend, and about my passion for creative learning and unlocking potential for children, who are particularly dyslexic children, and why I wrote my books, and a bit about my own personal journey. And unfortunately, she had to cancel it, and I was really disappointed. But I want to come down because there's a place in Essex I come and visit, and it's a very sort of inspirational place, and I really wanted to come. And my friend said I could come and stay still, so I've done that. So I came down, and I had just a very magical day today, really. And I chatted to one of the core team members, who I've talked to on a number of occasions, and we just had an update. I showed her my video, and I talked about dancing kites, and she's just blown away by it. And I was not looking to sell my training to her, And she just was so blown away with the whole thing about what Dancing Kites means. She's completely on my wavelength. She said, I want to be part of this. She looked at my Dancing Kites creative learning system and she said, I want this. And I thought, well, she's down here and she doesn't even go on the internet, so I didn't even pick her up on that. We just carried on the conversation and it kept coming back from her. So long story short, I'm meant to be coming back in a couple of weeks because meant to have a workshop about mind maps for dyslexic adults in the workplace, and then some dyslexia assessments down at the Therapy Life Centre in Southend. Karen's just done another bit of marketing for me to sort of try and drum up a bit of interest, but maybe it's just too close to Christmas. So, you know, I've got that in the diary. So what I've agreed with Maggie is that if that doesn't happen, I'm going to do a vision board session with her either in the morning or the afternoon, because I can come down anyways as planned. And if it does happen, fantastic. And then on the Wednesday morning, when I was going to pack up to come back to Bucks, I could see her in Southend and do that then. And then maybe in the new year, she'll arrange so I can go and stay at this retreat centre, and she'll have a couple of mind mapping sessions because she's just finishing at this place at the end of March. She said, I don't know where I'm going on it, I don't know what to do. And clearly she recognised something in me as helping. So, and it also means that I can go there to stay and have that creative space to do some writing and thinking, which I really, really need. So the only thing is, if it's snowing, I'm not going because it's really in the back of Beyond. And I absolutely don't want to be driving down there in the snow and ice. But you know, it's even if it doesn't happen then, it might happen a few weeks later. So I have to say, it was really exciting. You know, I went for sort of, you know, a day out and just to recharge, and actually it's been quite hard work today in many ways. I was talking to her for an hour and a half, but it was just so encouraging because she won't be the only person in the world like that. She's just so got what I'm talking about. So I've clearly communicated and she's picked it up. So apologies if I've gone on a bit like that, but it's, you know, it was very, very empowering for me. So let's move on quickly to the road ahead. And what's on the road ahead for you then, Vivek?
Yeah, you looks like you moved seamlessly into your road ahead already, but
oh well, sorry, I did, didn't I? Well, no, that's for 2 weeks ahead. Yeah, I'm 2 weeks ahead. I've got more to say.
I mean, we are meeting again to fix your authorship and
yeah, we've been practicing for a few weeks, haven't we?
yeah, a few other bits. I would be mainly hanging out with various people, and hanging out by that I mean creating hangouts like this, and which would be probably on the YouTube, and
right.
You would see me more and more.
Yes.
You can't escape that.
Yes, because I was encouraging, wasn't I, that the help you're giving me to create videos about that, and then to raise your profile, and then I will help with that. So, yeah, brilliant.
So that's my road ahead. So, yeah, if you have anything more to cover that you haven't already.
I'll keep it brief. Okay, have I got the blue box yet?
Yes, you have.
Right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, training. I mean, I've got some mind mapping and dyslexia sort of clients from young and old. So next week, and little bit of what you call it, networking, usual stuff, and things going on in the background, which I will share. But I don't think it's quite the right time yet to go too public on it. But it's all around finding people to help they design their kites and make them dance, and absolutely, it's just really exciting. So I'm moving stuff on in that, and also the dyslexia workplace assessments. So I'm having conversations with, you know, accountants and solicitors and so on, with a view to A, helping them in their own workplace, and also B, setting up seminars maybe for their clients. So that I can say that could be a really important area, you know, for moving on. And also I've got a new virtual assistant I'm coming up with, because my previous one, I may have mentioned in previous weeks, lovely lady, but unfortunately suddenly her health has taken a bit of a nosedive, and she suddenly can't come anymore. And I don't really like admin. I don't mind helping other people with think clearly, but I don't like my own admin. It's too boring, and I don't know. And I just had a conversation. It was the day of the storm that we had. I had a conversation with this particular lady to see if she could supplement what Catherine does, and with a view to my e-shots, because I really need to get another e-shot out, and that's waiting to happen. And so we arranged the meeting, and then 2 days later I got this message from Catherine saying she couldn't come, and she hasn't rebooked because she's in a lot of pain, and also I can't be under pressure. So I've never met the lady, but we chatted on the phone, and I think she's just my sort of person. She's very thorough and she says what she wants. You know, she's very person of integrity. So hopefully she's going to help with my e-shots and some of my paperwork and so on. So that's happening this week as well. So yeah, lots of things. So we're coming on to the trick or treat section. So Vivek, you got something interesting to tell us about again?
Yeah, I would be talking about the YouTube channel art. Since Google is really integrating YouTube and Google Plus, it makes a lot of sense now for businesses, small, medium, large businesses, to promote their passion really through YouTube. YouTube now it's no longer possible to put a comment on YouTube unless you have a Google Plus profile.
Ah, I didn't know that.
So that makes it that means that anonymity is gone, which means that people who used to troll and only throw negative comments at someone else's work, they can no longer do that. So now now it is more important for small business owners such as yourself, Corinna.
Yes.
To be on YouTube, to be more findable, if there is such a word, more easily reachable.
Yes.
YouTube is taking on more importance. So I'm going to share a screen, do a screen share now, and this is a template which shows how you actually can create a Google, YouTube channel art, so that it shows up on different screens. Actually,
okay, yeah.
Actually, YouTube, I don't know whether many of you are aware of. You can watch YouTube on internet connected TVs. So if you have a TV which is connected to the internet, there are quite a few of them now, you can watch YouTube on the TV. So they are actually fixing your channel art needs to be of a size 2560 by 1440.
Okay, that's quite big.
That's actually the size of a TV.
Oh, right.
So the full image size needs to be that big, okay. But then on desktop and on tablets, what is actually visible is much smaller. So
right.
This template explains the safe area. This would be the safe area, which is 1546 pixels by 423 pixels, and this is in the middle of this whole big screen. And there is this strangely on tablets it's slightly bigger, and on desktop itself it's actually even bigger. The maximum is actually 2560 pixels by
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Whereas if you put a graphic which is that wide,
Yes.
I hope you can see the mouse.
Yes, I can see that.
On many other devices, you can't see them. So the safest bet is actually put your most important stuff within this area.
I understand, yes.
So that is text and logo safe area. So you, whatever logo you want to have, it needs to fit within this, and text as well. So I have used a template like this and created the channel art for your channel, Corinna. And the text that I used there also uses dyslexia friendly font.
No, I was impressed with that. It looks good.
So there you have it. It's the treat from me.
And if people want to look at it, then they can go to www.youtube.com/dancingkitescreative.
Yes, and and the template that I used, it's actually from inlinevision.com.
Okay.
And I would make the slightly modified version of that template on my website, because the inlinevision.com gives you template in PSD format, which is Photoshop, which is a slightly expensive software to buy.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's great, because that's another way that you're adding value to people, isn't it? Because, you know, I came a bit unstuck, didn't I, with it, and you kindly offered to do it for me. And I just thought it's just another example. I said, well, do talk about it, and, you know, then people know that you've done that. And even if people can do it, they may not want to spend the time on it. So that's a real, you know, value-added thing that you've done for people again. So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so that was my trick or treat. So you have the blue box now, and you wanted to talk about colors and business.
Yes, it's a sort of topic that is a topic that, you know, you can spend a lot of time on. I just really want to give a few headings. I mean, if you want to ask me anything about it, that's fine. But I'm just going to talk generally because time is running out, as is my laptop battery. So I can't plug it in where I've actually got it. But never mind. That's being down in Essex, you see. They don't obviously have power in the right place. But no, I'm only joking. This was a couple of weeks ago. I talked about colours and about visual perception and dyslexics, and how colours can make a difference in terms of processing information. And it is a key part. And creative learning is all about whole brain working, and a lot of businesses tend to work in a predominantly a left brain way. So it's L for left, L for language, list, and logic and linear. And you know, you get a lot of emails that are just, you know, very word dense. You know, that they put a bullet point and they think they're being very sort of, no, I mustn't be too rude, but you know, they think being quite. It does help visually to a point, but it's still black on white, and it's still not creative enough for some people. And I was talking to one of my clients, or she's bringing her daughter to me for a dyslexia assessment next week, but she's also interested in setting up a workshop, you know, dyslexia awareness workshop. And I thought for her clients, and she said, and I'd said at a networking meeting, in my 40 seconds, I said something about, are you colourful enough in your business? And actually that makes you dyslexic friendly. And that really stuck in her mind, which is great, because I like to say things that make people think a bit. And she said, well, what did you mean by that? And I said, well, you know, you could put a bit of colour, say, in your accounts, you know. So she's an accountant, she will present accounts to people, and a lot of people who run their own businesses, particularly creative people, they may not be that strong on the left side of the brain. They could be, I'm not generalising in one sense, but you know, a lot of people aren't, or they're not interested. And if they are dyslexic, if you put in some colours, not just red, if it's the wrong colour, but you know, different colours, friendly colours, it can help in the processing. And I said to her, well, you know, she uses Excel, and I said, well, you know about conditional formatting? And she said, no, I don't know about conditional formatting. And certainly in Office 2010 and beyond, you've got the conditional format, which is really easy. So if a value is in a particular range, it can be a particular colour. And it's so easy to set. It's much easier to set than previous versions where you have to type in sort of hash keys and all sorts of things to get it to work. And that's something that's really easy to do, and it would just make the accounts more friendly, more accessible, because it's using the right side of the brain, which is good for colours, for intuition, for global thinking, for connections. And it's something that's really simple. And people can use it in all kinds of ways. Help with filing, for example, highlighting stuff. Interesting enough, I've got this other talk coming up in Essex, in Southend, I mentioned briefly, which I'm hoping will run in a couple of weeks' time, about creative learning for adults, using mind mapping and then some dyslexia assessments. And I've deliberately used colours for the headings and so on, not over the top. And Karen's actually sent the email out with the colours in, and I would always use, even if it's a plain text email, e-shot. I'm going to do mine in MailChimp, so you've got more opportunity to put pictures and so on. I was always use some sort of colour, particularly for my e-shots, because it's dyslexic friendly as well. So I read somewhere a little while ago in a study that, dyslexia is a very broad condition, and people are affected in different ways. So I mentioned recently about my son. His reading and spelling are great, but he has difficulties in other areas in terms of processing visually and that kind of stuff. But the one common thing that dyslexics have is that they tend to be able to process in colour. So you're thinking, how simple, just use colour a bit more in your communication. And we talked about the picture superiority effect, didn't we, a few weeks ago? A picture as well with the words, makes all the difference. And it's just suddenly much more memorable than just plain black and white. It really gives a whole brain way of working. It's creative, that creative learning, which can just unpack things. So a huge topic, but yes, it works absolutely for people who are dyslexic, and it works for other people as well, and it's a whole brain way of thinking. So does that sort of cover it? Did you want to ask me anything, or time and battery have nearly run out? But
yeah, right side and left side brain. I think you did mention that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you have covered quite a lot there. Yes.
Yeah, rattled it all off, but maybe it's something I'll have to do. Make another PowerPoint to put on my website, so which I'm looking to upgrade. Okay, our time's almost run out now, and it's a Friday evening almost, and so it's beeps. We're right on schedule with the beeps. So it's time to sign off. It's been great to have we've obviously seen Judge of the Week. It has been great again just to look at the week that we've had and what's coming up and chat about stuff. So that's been really, really helpful again. So it'll be goodbye from me and goodbye, good night from me and good night from him, like so two Ronnies. So I'll sign off for myself first. So I've been Corinna Shepherd, and I will continue to be Corinna Shepherd, as I know I say, of Dancing Kites Creative Learning, and I'm passionate about unlocking your potential through creative and interactive learning. That's you.
Yeah, as I say, it's always integrated. We live. It's Vivek, Baindoor, signing off. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.